everyone. Today we will discuss one numerical on the last topic we had discussed, that is critical speed of the shaft. So this is one question which is asked on the critical speed of the shaft on in RTO 2017 of 16 marks. In the first part he is asking derive a relationship between deflection and geometric center and eccentricity with taking other parameter for a single rotor shaft with damping. This we had discussed in the last lecture, and we got the relationship that x upon e equal to omega by omega n square divided by under root 1 minus omega by omega n square whole square plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square, where x was the deflection and e was the eccentricity. Okay, so this equation, this relation we have already derived in the last class. In the second part he is asking one numerical. Okay, this is the numerical. A rotor has a mass of 10 kg mounted midway on a 24 mm dia horizontal shaft supported at the ends by two bearings which are 1 meter apart. The shaft rotates at 2400 rpm if center of mass m of the rotor is 0.12 mm away from geometric center of rotor due to manufacturing defects. Now find the amplitude at steady state vibration and dynamic force transmitted to bearing. Take E equal to 200 giganewton per meter square. Okay, so this was the question asked in R2 2016 of 16 marks. So this is the numerical on critical speed without damping. Okay, so we will solve this question. So this is the given data. A shaft is given which is supported between two bearings, and a rotor is given at the midpoint of the shaft. So mass of the rotor is 10 kg. L equal to 1 meter means the span, the distance between the two bearings is 1 meter is given. Eccentricity due to manufacturing defect is 0.12 mm. Distance between this point C and G, that is the eccentricity, is 0.12 mm. D. The diameter of the rotor is 0.024 meter, and the speed at which our shaft is rotating is 2400 rpm, and E, the Young modulus, is 200 giganewton per meter square. So we can easily find out the value of I, that is moment of inertia. We know pi by 4 d to the power 4. Okay, so dia of rotor is given to us. So we are getting the value of moment of inertia I is equal to 16.3 into 10 raised to power minus 9 meter to the power 4. Now we know the critical speed is the speed at which the deflection is maximum, and that we are getting at the natural frequency. Okay, so we know the value of omega n. Omega n equal to under root g upon delta static. Now delta static, in case of this is simple supported. In case of simply supported, you must have learned this formula in from strength of material. Okay, if this is load W, then maximum deflection at this point, midpoint, is equal to WL cube by 48 EI. The same formula I am using here. Delta static is equal to WL cube upon 48 EI, where W is equal to weight given. Okay, here we will take the mass of this rotor, that is M. M is given to us, so W will be equal to M into G. Delta static we can easily find out. Delta static equal to mg, putting the value of W equal to mg. Mg L cube upon 48 EI. So we are having all the data. After putting all the data, we are getting the deflection, static deflection at the midpoint, that is 0.000627 meter. So by using this, we can easily find out the value of omega n. Omega n equal to under root g upon delta, that is equal to 9.81 upon this, and we are getting the natural frequency of our shaft system is 125.08 radian per second. Here one more question, the question can be asked, that is find out the critical speed. Okay, we know the critical speed is the speed at which we are getting the natural frequency. So we can find out here, because we know omega n equal to what, 2 pi n upon 60. So putting this value 125.08 equal to 2 pi n upon 60, and solving this, we can get the value of n. N is nothing but the critical speed of the shaft. critical speed of the shaft. So here omega n we are getting 125.08. We can also find out n if he will ask by using this equal to 2 pi n upon 60. Now we had already find out the value of omega n. Now next thing we will find will be the value of omega. Okay, omega we know the speed at which our system is operating. N is given to us that our system is operating at 2400 rpm. So we will find the value of omega, that is equal to 2 pi n upon 60. Putting this value, we are getting value of omega is 251.3 radian per second, and the value of omega 1 we got, it was less than, okay, so value of omega n we were getting was 125.08 radian per second. So you can easily see omega n is 125 and omega at which we are operating is 251 radian per second. Obviously we are operating at greater than omega n. So what will be this, what will happen now? Because we are operating omega as greater than omega n, so deflection must be negative, means it is favorable for us. Centrifugal force will try to decrease the deflection because of eccentricity and acts in a direction toward the direction of restoring force. Okay, so this, because we are operating omega is greater than omega n, then our deflection must be negative and it is favorable, less vibration will be there. Okay, because deflection will try to decrease. Okay, now so we know the formula for deflection, x amplitude. Okay, x equal to e upon omega n by omega whole square minus 1. Okay, so putting the value of omega n and omega both we had already find out, we are getting x as this. I already told you, because we are operating omega, let us go, this is 0, this is omega n, and here is omega. In this region we are having some positive deflection, and here we will get, in this region we will get negative deflection. This is the favorable region. Okay, here there will be less vibrations, so here also we are getting x is negative. And in the next part he is asking the dynamic load on the bearing. Okay, so we know that as the shaft will deflect like this, okay, one centrifugal force will act and other side the restoring force kT into x will act. Both, by operating both in equilibrium, we derived the equation x equal to e upon omega n by omega whole square minus 1. So the force acts on the shaft is kT into x or mr omega square, that is the centrifugal force. So this is the restoring force, or this is centrifugal force. We put both equal. Okay, so you can find out the value of dynamic load on the bearing either by using this equation kT into x or by using this mr omega square, where r net deflection, that is x plus e omega square. Mr omega square equal to mx plus e omega square. And also, for if you want to find out by using this equation, you have to find out the kT. Okay, we know kT, that is the, so kT, which is the stiffness of the shaft, torsional stiffness of the shaft, we know that is equal to load per unit deflection. So delta is equal to, we know, WL cube upon 40 ATI, we had already find out. So K, that is the stiffness of the shaft, will be load per unit deflection, W upon delta. We equate 48 EI upon L cube. So putting all these value, we can easily find out the value of K, that is the stiffness of the shaft. We are getting 156480 Newton per meter. Just multiplying it by x, that is the deflection, we find out. So FD is equal to this stiffness into deflection. We had already find out in the first part. We are getting the FD, dynamic force on the bearing. So this is the force on both of the bearings. So force, dynamic force on each bearing will be equal to FD upon 2, that is equal to 12.47 Newton. So this was the 16 marks question asked in RTU 2017. Okay, in the first part he asked the derivation and the second part is the numerical. So this was all about critical speed. In next part we will discuss some more numericals on critical speed of shaft. Thank you.